Have you ever trusted a road that you couldn't see the end of? Not because you were fearless, not because you had it all figured out, but because some part of you, some quiet, stubborn part, knew that turning back simply wasn't an option anymore. This short story came to me in a dream. In the middle of a season where my waking life was doing the exact same thing my sleeping life was about to do, moving me somewhere I couldn't yet name. I was mid-transition, mid-unknown, and this dream showed up like it always does, right when I most needed to be told that not knowing isn't the same thing as being lost. I'm going to read it to you now, exactly as I wrote it. This is the bus dream, and I've actually never published this one before, so you're in luck. This is officially a world premiere. I had a dream last night that I got on a bus that was going to take me to a destination unknown. All I could feel was that this bus would lead me to the true answer of what my life should be, my purpose, my awakening. A bus to lead me down the right path, toward the right career. I am in a state of transition in my waking life, so this makes sense. The bus was like an old-fashioned school bus with extremely steep steps and tall backs to each seat, so I couldn't see who was sitting where. I found my way to the back of the bus, as I always do, and saw another woman sitting there. With beautiful brown ringlet curls, freckles, hoop earrings, loose-fitting clothing, a face that told me she had a story to tell. She was gorgeous. She was a strong friend. We struck up an instant connection and talked and laughed the whole ride. The bus ride was long, and the sun started to go down. I saw trees pass by, then cities, then unknown terrain. Eventually, I got tired. I woke up, jolted awake after what felt like hours. The bus was still moving, but I heard the bus driver say over the speaker, "Last stop." I checked the Google Maps on my phone. 4 minutes away from O'Hare Airport in Chicago. What? But I live in New Orleans. This was going to be a long journey back. It was a strange, almost lucid dreaming moment where I noticed how calm I was despite being thousands of miles from home. I knew that the bus would sit there for a few minutes and then turn around. I was not desperately worried that I was so far away from home or that I would never find my way back. I knew I got on that bus for a reason. And I knew that it was going to take me where I was meant to be, eventually. Okay, let's sit with this one for a minute. The detail that gets me every single time that I go back and read this, and I've read it probably a dozen times now, just prepping for today, is the moment I wake up. 4 minutes from O'Hare, 1,000 miles from home, and I'm not panicking. I want you to really hear that, because it would be so easy to skip past it. 1,000 miles from home, no plan, no idea how I'm getting back, and the dream version of me is just calm. That calm is not nothing. That's what self-trust actually feels like in the body. Calm. It's not the absence of surprise. Of course not. I was definitely plenty surprised. It's the absence of the catastrophe story that usually comes riding in right behind the surprise. Usually for me, surprise shows up, and about 4 seconds later, so does the spiral. This is a disaster. This is the worst thing that could have happened. I've ruined everything. How could I let this happen? But in this dream, the spiral just didn't ever come. And I think that's worth asking yourself. What would it feel like if surprise arrived in your life and the spiral simply declined the invitation? There's a term that I love from Buddhist teachings, right view, part of the Eightfold Path, and at its simplest, it just means seeing what's actually happening instead of the story that we layer on top of it. And I think that bus driver, flat and unbothered, saying "last stop" over the intercom, that's right view in its purest form. He wasn't dramatic about it. He didn't apologize or edit himself. He just told me where we were. Reality doesn't edit. We do that part ourselves, usually while reality is still trying to tell us just the facts. And then there's the landscape. Trees, then cities, then unknown terrain out the window, the whole ride. Nothing out that window held still. Not for 1 mile of that trip. And that's such a literal, almost embarrassingly on-the-nose image of anicca, impermanence, right? The Buddhist idea that nothing arises and stays. Everything is always in motion. I don't think the danger was ever that the landscape kept changing. I think the danger, if there was one, was in some part of me expecting it to hold still. Expecting the view to stay the same so I could feel safe. But safety was never in the stillness. It was somewhere else the whole time. And can we talk about the woman at the back of the bus for a second? Beautiful curls, hoop earrings, a face that told me she had a story. I found my way to the back. I always do. If you know me, I'm a back of the bus person. And there she was. And we just clicked instantly. No effort. I think that's worth sitting with too. Especially during a season of your life when your own identity feels unfixed in transition, still half sketched. Sometimes the people who recognize us fastest are the ones who meet us exactly when we don't yet know who we're becoming. She didn't need me to have it figured out. She just sat with me, along for the ride. And then, the thesis, the line I keep coming back to, the one that I think this whole essay was quietly building toward the entire time. I knew I got on that bus for a reason, and I knew it was going to take me where I needed to be, where I was meant to be, eventually. Eventually, not immediately, not on my schedule, just eventually. That, beautiful soul, is right effort, as I understand it, without right control, doing the next small thing, getting on, staying on, not steering. Not white-knuckling the wheel from the back seat, trying to negotiate the route with the driver who was never going to consult me anyway. I want to offer you something small here. Not a whole practice, just a pause. If you're open to it, think of one place in your life right now where you're demanding to see the entire map before you'll take the next step. Just notice it. Don't fix it. Just notice it for 3 breaths. Good. Let's keep going. Where in your life are you waiting to see the whole route before you'll get on the bus? What would it feel like just for today to get on anyway? If this story stirred something in you, some small recognition, some, oh, yeah, that's me too. That is exactly what the Metta Momentum Sangha is for. It's a free community hosted on School, full of people learning to trust roads they can't see the end of, right alongside you. And if you're ready to go deeper into the practice of trusting your own path, permission to be, my 8-week self-paced transformational journey walks through this work step by step. Come find us. You don't have to figure out the whole route alone. The Softening into Momentum podcast is lovingly curated, created, written, edited and produced by me, Miki Byrne, with accompanying sound bath frequencies by my good friend, Static. If you would like to dive further into his incredible musical work, please go to YouTube at Static is Noise. Permission to Be is an 8-week mindful sobriety and self-trust journey back to yourself, rooted in compassion, nervous system awareness, Buddhist philosophy, and lived experience. You don't need to fix yourself. You need a gentler way home. Learn more in the show notes. Thank you so much for softening into this moment with me. Until we meet again, Namaste.